Hi friends, in the first episode of this series, we had seen how Periyar and Annadurai had shaped the Dravidian movement during the British era as well as the first 2 decades after Indian independence. In 1969, Annadurai died unexpectedly and Karunanidhi was chosen as his successor after defeating V.N. Nerunchelian. This was also an era where two friends turned rivals, notably Karunanidhi and MGR, took this legacy forward as second generation leaders of the Dravidian movement. This was also an era where a second Dravidian party, the AIADMK, was born, which was an offshoot of the DMK. Karunanidhi was born on 3rd June 1924 in the village of Tirukuvalai of Tanjore district in the Madras Presidency. His parents were Ayyadurai Muthuvel and Anjugam. He had two elder sisters, Periyanaiki and Shanmugasundari. There was some misconception that his birth name was Dakshinamurthy and later changed to Karunanidhi as influenced by Dravidian and rationalist movements. In his own writings, Karunanidhi mentioned that his family belonged to the Isai Vellalar community, a community which played musical instruments during ceremonial occasions. However, his political rival MGR and other observers have contested this and have claimed him to be of Telugu ancestry. Karunanidhi's father was eager to teach him music. His music teachers were from the Isai Vellalar group, and the lessons were conducted in temples where he was not allowed to cover his upper body, wear slippers, or wear a cotton cloth around his hips as a sign of respect for the upper caste people. He couldn't tolerate learning in an environment where he wasn't treated with respect, which made his father agree to stop his music classes. Karunanidhi entered politics at the age of 14 after being inspired by a speech of Alagiri Swami of the Justice Party and participated in the anti-Hindi agitations. As a teenager, he was captivated by the political writings of Tamil leaders including Panaganti Ramarayaningar, also known as Raja of Panagal, Periyar, and Pudukottai Alagiri Swami, after whom Karunanidhi later named one of his sons. Karunanidhi used to often say, "For some, life is a struggle, but for me, struggle is my life." He began his political career with the anti-Hindi protests sparked by the provincial government's legislation making Hindi education mandatory in schools. And in 1938, he organized a group of boys to hold demonstrations traveling around Tiruvarur on a cycle rickshaw. The law was rescinded in 1939. The taste for activism, however, stuck with him, and in the ensuing years, after a brief flirtation with communism, he was inspired by the work and speeches of leaders of the Justice Party, Self-Respect Movement, and Dravida Kalagam. He also associated as a writer during his teen years with his own magazines such as Manava Nesan and Murasali, and later on went on to work in Periyar's Kudi Arasu as well. During this period, he also wrote several plays which were a social commentary on the prevailing caste prejudices. In 1944, he joined Jupiter Pictures as a screenwriter, and in 1947, his first film, Rajakumari, was released. By 1952, Karunanidhi had also made a mark in the Tamil film industry with scripts drawing on the idea of a Dravidian uprising. The most famous of the series of movies was Parashakti, released in 1952, starring Shivaji Ganeshan. Karunanidhi, along with a group of young band of Tamil enthusiasts led by C. N. Annadurai, dissented from Dravida Kalagam and formed the Dravida Munnetra Kadagam on 17th September 1949. He made his first mark on the political landscape with the Kallakudi agitation in 1953 at the age of 29, when the New Delhi headquartered Dalmia Cements set up a plant in Kallakudi, Trichy, and renamed the town to Dalmiapuram. Karunanidhi and other DMK leaders laid themselves over railway tracks protesting the name change of the station. He was jailed for 3 months. At the age of 33, Karunanidhi entered the Tamil Nadu Assembly by winning the Kulithalai seat in Tiruchirappalli during the 1957 elections and was elected as the chief whip. During the 1959 elections of the Madras Municipal Corporation, he was managing the party campaigns. The party won 45 out of the 90 contested. He was elected as DMK treasurer on 25th September 1960. Karunanidhi was elected to the State Assembly for the second time on 21st February 1962 from the Tanjavur constituency. He defeated Congress candidate AYS Parishutha Nadar. In the same year, he became the deputy leader of opposition in the State Assembly. On 3rd February 1969, the then Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, C.N. Annadurai, died of cancer. On 9th February 1969, the DMK's MLAs chose Karunanidhi to lead the party. He was also chosen as the DMK's Legislative Assembly leader. Karunanidhi was appointed Chief Minister on 10th February 1969 and was sworn in by Governor Sardar Ujjal Singh. Members of the DMK selected him as the leader of the DMK on 29 July 1969, a position that had been kept vacant during Annadurai's tenure in honor of Periyar. 6 ministries of Annadurai's cabinet were kept by Karunanidhi. Along with his own ministries, he also took over the ministries of the late Annadurai as well as Nedunchellians who had refused to be a part of Karunanidhi's cabinet. During his tenure, he granted legal status to self-respect marriages and implemented a number of other programs aimed at protecting women and children. Karunanidhi's administration established the Satyanathan Commission for Backward Classes in 1969 to recognize underprivileged groups and give them the representation in government employment and education institutions. He implemented the Manu Needhi Tittam, which mandated district officials to set aside a day every week to hear public grievances and set up grievance redress procedures. Karunanidhi founded the Tamil Nadu Slum Clearance Board in September 1970 to build permanent houses for those living in slums. His government gave free eye surgeries for the blind from the Kannoli Tittam. In 1970, he proposed the Tamil Nadu Land Reforms, that is the Reduction of Ceiling on Land Act, which cut the maximum amount of land a family could possess up to 15 standard acres down from 30 acres during the previous Congress rule. Maruttur Gopalan Ramachandra, popularly known by his initials MGR, was the other leader of the Dravidian movement during the decades of 70s and 80s. The main reason that Dravidian ideology is strongly entrenched in Tamil Nadu and even accepted is because of the use of art and literature for this cause. With MGR using this ideology in his movies, it became a part of popular culture. MGR was born in 1917 in Navalapitiya, Kandy district of Sri Lanka in a Malayali family to Melakkath Gopalan Menon and Maruttur Satyabama from Palakkad in the modern-day Indian state of Kerala. In his early days, MGR was a devout Hindu and a devotee of Lord Sri Murugan and also his mother's favorite god, Lord Sri Guruvayurappan. After joining the DMK, he became a rationalist. Having had a penchant for acting since an early age, he made his acting debut with the 1936 film Sati Leelavati. Generally starring in romance or action films, Ramachandran got his breakthrough in the 1950 film Maruthanad Ilavarasi, written by M. Karunanidhi. This film became a box office success and established MGR and Janaki as a star pair sure to go places. They both later on went on to get married in 1962. Soon, he rose to popularity with the 1954 film Malai Kallan. He acted as hero in the Tamil film industry's first ever full-length Jiva color film, the 1955 Ali Babaum Napadu Tirudargalam. He won the National Film Award for Best Actor for the film Rikshakaran in 1972. His 1973 blockbuster Ulagam Sutrum Valiban broke the previous box office records of his films. It was one of the few films filmed abroad in those days. It was shot in Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Hong Kong, and Japan. Madurayai Meeta Sundara Pandian was the last film that got released before his death. Avasara Police 100 and Nalladai Nadu Kekkum are movies that got released posthumously in 1990. They were unfinished movies by MGR as he had quit acting after he became the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu in 1977. After his death, the crew had reconstructed the whole story with a different plot and released it with the available footage of the scenes that MGR had acted in. MGR was a member of the Indian National Congress until 1953 and he also used to wear khadi. In 1953, he joined the DMK after being attracted by its founder C.N. Annadurai and became a vocal Tamil and Dravidian nationalist and a prominent member of the DMK. He added the glamour to the Dravidian movement that was sweeping the Tamil Nadu. MGR became a member of the State Legislative Council in 1962. At the age of 50, he was first elected to the Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly in 1967. After the death of his mentor, Annadurai, Ramachandran became the treasurer of DMK in 1969 after Karunanidhi became the chief minister. Actor and politician M.R. Radha and MGR worked in 25 films together. On 12th January 1967, M.R. Radha and a producer visited MGR to discuss a future film project. During the conversation, Radha stood up and shot MGR in his left ear twice. Radha then tried to kill himself but was not able to. The bullet that was shot in MGR was permanently lodged in his neck and his voice was damaged. Within hours of the shooting, some 50,000 fans had gathered at the hospital where MGR had been taken. People cried on the streets. For 6 weeks, he lay in the hospital as fans awaited each report of his health. After the operation, Ramachandran's voice changed. Since he had been shot in his ear, Ramachandran lost hearing in his left ear and had ringing problems in the ear. These further surfaced in 1983 when he had kidney problems. MGR underwent a daring kidney transplant in New York by a team of Indian, Pakistani, and US doctors. Before we go ahead, a gentle reminder. I have noticed that 99% of the viewers are just watching the video and not subscribing to the channel. I sincerely hope that you would press on the subscribe button and also click on the bell icon to receive notifications of any videos that I post on my channel. Before writing for MGR, Karunanidhi wrote for other actors including Shivaji Ganeshan, who delivered the flowery and fiery prose written by Karunanidhi with great conviction and style. Personal differences arose between Shivaji Ganeshan and Karunanidhi, and the actor moved over to the Congress party. To make up for Ganeshan, Karunanidhi, whose dialogues were increasingly getting political, weaned an actor from the Congress camp into the DMK fold. This was none other than M.G. Ramachandran. When the DMK began using actors for political propaganda, the Congress leader Kamaraj dismissed them derisively as Hutadigal, which means performers. But the Congress had to soon change styles and rely on people like Shivaji Ganeshan and lyricist scriptwriter Kannadasan, who had crossed over from the DMK. MGR and Karunanidhi were the best of friends and collaborators until they reached the pinnacle of wealth, fame, and glory. The highest point of their collaboration came in 1969 when, with his friends' support, Karunanidhi was able to defeat the next in line Nedunchellian to succeed Annadurai as the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. In return, Karunanidhi ensured that MGR was made the party treasurer. However, from that point on, there would be a sense of unease. They were no longer the humble 23-year-old scriptwriter who had discovered his hero in MGR, the handsome 30-year-old, or the struggling actor who had found his muse in Karunanidhi after 11 years of an uneventful film career. They were now the two major political forces in a party, the DMK, that was too small to accommodate both. The inevitable had to happen sooner or later. MGR's ability to draw large crowds left Karunanidhi worried and insecure. He launched his son M.K. Muthu in the Tamil film industry to counter MGR and also tried to sideline him within the party. Around this time, MGR too made accusations that corruption had seeped into the party after the death of Annadurai. The final straw came when Karunanidhi expelled MGR from the DMK. This fascinating tale of two friends turning into bitter rivals inspired ace filmmaker Maniratnam to make the 1997 cult classic film Iruvar. Upon his ouster from DMK, his volunteer Anakaputtur Ramalingam started a new party called the Anna Dravida Munnetra Kalagam. Joining as a member of that party, he became the leader and general secretary later, and also renamed it as the All India Anna Dravida Munnetra Kalagam, which is today known as the AIADMK, the only powerful opponent of the DMK. He mobilized between 1972 and 1977 to spread and preach his party ambition with films like Netru Indru Nalai in 1974, Idayakani in 1975, Indrapol Endrum Varada in 1977, etc. Despite his incredible popularity amongst the people of Tamil Nadu, who revered him no less than a god, Karunanidhi dismissed the threat from his former friend and a comrade. Without sacrifice and a party structure, he will not achieve nothing, an overconfident Karunanidhi pronounced. It was a boast he would soon regret. MGR continued to build his legend, playing the infallible melodramatic hero in a series of blockbuster films. In its first election in 1977, his party crushed the DMK so decisively that Karunanidhi would remain out of power for as long as MGR was alive. MGR was written off by political pundits when he stated that his party ideology was a blend of capitalism, socialism, and communism. He called it Annaism after Annadurai, the founder leader of DMK. But he had the last life on his detractors when his party romped home as winners in 1977. The AIA-DMK alliance won the elections by winning 144 seats of 234. Upon winning the 1977 state elections, MGR became the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu on 30th June 1977, remaining in office till his death in 1987. In 1979, members of his party, Satyavani Muthu and Aravinda Bala Pajanur, became the first non-Congress politicians from Tamil Nadu to be ministers in the Union Cabinet. The AIADMK won every state assembly election as long as Ramachandran was alive. Although Annadurai and Karunanidhi had acted in stage plays in trivial roles in their younger days, before becoming chief ministers, Ramachandran was the first popular film actor to be a chief minister in India. MGR went on to lead his party to victory in two more state elections in 1980 and 1985. After MGR became the chief minister of Tamil Nadu, his followers, who used to earlier call him as Purachi Nadigar or revolutionary actor, now hailed him as Purachi Talaivar. MGR was elected chief minister again in 1980 and 1985 after his party won at the polls. During his tenure as chief minister, the actor-politician introduced many populist welfare measures. Chief among them was the nutritious food scheme, where healthy meals were given free to students at schools. MGR died in harness as chief minister in 1987. Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi bestowed upon him posthumously the Bharat Ratna, which is the highest civilian honor in India. Karunanidhi claimed on 1st April 2009 and then again on 13th May 2012 that MGR was ready to merge his party, the AIADMK, with the DMK in September 1979, with former Chief Minister of Orissa, Biju Patnaik, as the mediator. But Panruti Ramachandran, who was close to MGR, played as the spoiler and made MGR change his mind. Even after his death, MGR remained popular in the state. His rule has been cited even by his contemporaries as one of the best in the country. But it was not devoid of any criticism. During his rule, Tamil Nadu slipped from the second position in terms of annual growth and per capita income to the 10th position. Also, emphasis on welfare schemes such as free electricity to farmers, midday meal schemes, etc. meant that money was taken away from infrastructure development which could have benefited the poor. Also, during his tenure, the liquor tax was seen as a regressive tax that did not benefit the poor. MGR never fully recovered from his multiple health problems and died on 24th December 1987 at 3:30 a.m. in his Ramavaram Gardens residence in Manapakkam after his prolonged illness. He was 70 years old. His death sparked a frenzy of looting and rioting all over the state. Shops, cinemas, buses and other public and private property became the target of violence. The police resorted to issuing shoot-at-sight orders. Schools and colleges immediately announced holidays until the situation came under control. Violence during the funeral alone left 129 people dead and 47 police personnel badly wounded. Young and married women allegedly shaved their heads bald and dressed like widows. Men whipped themselves until they bled to death. There were some extreme instances of people burning themselves to death and burning villages. MGR's death marked an end of an era in the Dravidian movement as well as this episode. In part 3 of this series, we shall see the beginning of the third generation of the Dravidian movement, which was spearheaded by actress turned politician J. Jayalalitha. I hope that you like this video. I have noticed that 99% of you are just watching the video and not subscribing to the channel. I really hope that you would subscribe to the channel and support me. Also, please click on the bell icon to receive notifications of any videos that I post. Thank you very much, and stay tuned for part 3 of the series on Dravidian movement.